It was 6:37 a.m. when I opened my front door to grab the newspaper, only to be greeted by the piercing voice of a woman in zebra print pajamas shouting at my garage door. She clutched a half-spilled latte in one hand and her phone in the other, jabbing dramatically at the small gate I'd installed across my driveway the night before. "I'm calling 911. You blocked the public path, you can't do this," she shrieked, as if I'd sealed off a freeway instead of my own property. As she stomped her foot and dialed, I knew something absurd was brewing. Lisa, the self-proclaimed overseer of the HOA, had lost it because I dared to secure my driveway and inconvenience her morning walk. That's when I saw the red and blue lights pulling. I hadn't even had my coffee. To backtrack a bit, this wasn't Lisa's first time treating my driveway like a public park. I live in a quiet cul-de-sac, and my property has a unique rear exit leading to the lake and community pool. My driveway curves along the road with a side path I built years ago for garage access. Somehow, this private feature became a neighborhood shortcut, especially for those who saw boundaries as optional. Lisa was the ringleader. At first, I let it slide: kids on bikes, morning joggers, dog walkers. I figured it wasn't worth a fight. But things escalated. One day, I found dog waste by my garage door. Another time, I caught teens setting off fireworks on my lawn for a clear lake view. I tried talking to neighbors, even left a friendly note by the fence, but nothing changed. The breaking point came 3 weeks ago. I was backing out my truck when Lisa's toddler darted across my driveway chasing a toy. I slammed the brakes, missing him by inches, my heart pounding. Lisa, instead of apologizing, just waved and yelled, "Be careful next time, he loves that path." That was it. I had to act before someone got hurt or sued me for their own carelessness. So, I installed a simple swing gate, waist high, with a latch. No code, just a hand of visual cue that this was private property. I put it up late after work and added a sign: "Private driveway, please use designated path." I thought that would settle it quietly. I was wrong. The next morning brought Lisa's latte-fueled tirade. She stood in my driveway like she owned it, face red, coffee staining her pajamas, voice loud enough to wake the dead. She accused me of betraying community trust and blocking vital recreational access, even claiming the shortcut was critical for people with mobility issues. I explained calmly that this was my private property. She snapped back with nonsense about implied access and historical precedent, as if my home were a public landmark. Then she threatened to call emergency services. I laughed, thinking she was bluffing. She wasn't. Within 10 minutes, 2 patrol cars arrived, lights flashing, rousing half the cul-de-sac. Lisa launched into her spiel before the cops stepped out, pointing at the gate like it was a crime scene. "He built this without community approval. It's a hostile blockade." The officers, Officer Daniels and Officer Lee, looked at me, then the gate, then Lisa, clearly wondering if she was unhinged. Daniels asked, "Sir, do you own this property?" I nodded, handing over my property survey and deed, which I'd printed just in case. I'd also installed a security camera above my garage, capturing Lisa's rants, the trespassing, even the toddler incident. Daniels reviewed my documents, glanced at Lisa, and said, "Ma'am, this is private property. He can block access. This isn't a public road." Lisa's jaw dropped. She stammered, pulling out her phone, claiming she had HOA emails and verbal agreements from a former neighbor. Officer Lee asked, "So you've been crossing this man's driveway for how long?" Lisa sniffed, "Every day since 2017. The cops exchanged looks. Lee muttered something about trespassing laws and warned her she could face citations if she kept it up. Lisa's lips quivered, as if losing control was unthinkable. "You'll regret this," she spat, storming off, her pajamas trailing dew. I knew this was just the beginning. Later, a neighbor, Mike, stopped by, chuckling. "Man, I've never seen someone wield a latte like a grenade." He said Lisa was already texting the HOA group chat, claiming I built an unauthorized barrier that threatened emergency access. By evening, an official-looking letter was taped to my mailbox, summoning me to an HOA meeting the next Friday about property modifications impacting community access. So, this was her game: not facts, not law, but drama and politics. That night, I saw Lisa pacing the sidewalk, glaring at my house like a general plotting war. Her weapon? Pure entitlement. The next day, I barely touched my cereal before a pounding shook my door, not a knock, but an angry demand. There stood Lisa, now in a sharp blazer, sunglasses perched on her head, clutching papers. Behind her, two new officers, less patient than the last. Lisa smirked, announcing she'd filed a formal police report and escalated to the HOA. She claimed my gate violated a historical easement and disrupted neighborhood flow. Her evidence was a stack of zoning printouts and Reddit screenshots. I showed the officers Officer Carter and Officer Paddleme's folder, survey, deed, permit for the gate. Carter nodded slowly. Ma'am, the gate's within his property line. There's no easement here. Lisa's face tightened. But we've used it for years. That counts. Patel raised an eyebrow. That's not how property law works. Using someone's land doesn't make it yours. Lisa muttered about lawsuits and stormed off, heels clicking furiously. Carter leaned in, whispering, "Get more cameras." She's not done. I thanked her and vowed to do just that. That afternoon, I posted on the community board and Facebook group, "To all neighbors, my driveway is private property. Due to safety and liability concerns, it's no longer a shortcut. Thank you for understanding." The post got 50 likes, supportive comments, and 2 furious replies, one from Lisa, ranting about selfish actions with 5 exclamation marks and a blurry gate photo. But neighbors started messaging me privately, sharing stories of Lisa's overreach, finding one for trash cans left out too long, warning another about unapproved hedges. Mike texted, "She thinks she's the neighborhood czar." About time someone pushed back. I doubled down, adding a trail camera by the hedge, no trespassing sign, motion lights, and an alert system for nighttime intrusions. The next morning, the HOA sent a formal letter, signed by President Tom Harris, citing me for unapproved exterior modifications and demanding I remove the gate pending a collective decision. I laughed, since when did my property need a vote? I called Tom, who sounded nervous, admitting Lisa had rallied signatures to remove the gate. I asked if any signers shared my property line. Silence. I hung up, adding the call to my evidence. That night, I caught Lisa across the street, snapping a photo of me at my window. She didn't flinch, just smirked and walked off. At 2:11 a.m., my motion detector pinged. The footage showed Lisa, hoodie up, measuring my gate with a flashlight in her mouth, like a cartoon burglar. I saved the video, emailed it to my lawyer friend, and asked about options. He laughed. "This is harassment territory. Keep documenting every step, every text." I realized this wasn't just about a driveway anymore. Lisa had made it her crusade, but I wasn't backing down. By the HOA meeting, I was ready. I brought my folder, surveys, photos, permits, the 2:11 a.m. footage, and screenshots of Lisa's misleading Facebook posts. The clubhouse felt like a budget courtroom, with folding chairs and stale cookies. Lisa sat up front, blazer on, ready to pounce. Tom opened nervously, framing it as a concern about community access. Lisa jumped up, claiming my gate severed shared amenities and violated neighborhood spirit. Her evidence? Screenshots, a marked-up Google Maps printout, and a petition with 6 signatures, half from outside our block. I stood, calm. This is personal. My driveway's private, but people treat it like a park. I ignored it until a toddler nearly got hit, trash piled up, and someone spray-painted my garage. I laid out my documents, then played the video of Lisa sneaking around. Gasps filled the room. Lisa tried to interrupt, claiming it was a safety check, but Tom silenced her. Then Mr. Grayson, a quiet 15-year HOA veteran, spoke up, revealing emails from 2 years ago where Lisa proposed reclassifying my driveway as a public path. The room turned. Neighbors shared their own Lisa story finds for wind chimes, bans on laundry lines. Tom announced the HO would drop my citation and review Lisa's role. She stormed out, silent. I thought it was over. I was wrong. Days later, my mailbox was soaked, stuffed with torn letters and a banana peel. Footage showed Lisa again. Then, a midnight protest of 6 people with signs like "Share the driveway." I bagged their flyers, documented everything, and sent a cease and desist letter, listing her trespassing, vandalism, and harassment. She went quiet, too quiet. One night, a noise complaint brought cops, who found a spike strip inside my gate. This wasn't a prank, it was dangerous. The police opened a criminal investigation, suspecting Lisa. She clammed up when questioned, deleted her social media posts, and hid. Then, county investigators cited her. Rumors spread. Lisa had misused HOA funds, forged complaints, and faked a plat map claiming my driveway was communal. Worse, she'd filed reports under a dead resident's name, triggering the Spike Strip incident. It wasn't just harassment, it was fraud. A week later, a for sale sign appeared on Lisa's lawn. She packed up and vanished without a word. The neighborhood relaxed, kids biked freely. The Facebook group turned to pet photos. Tom announced an HOA overhaul for transparency. I replaced my gate with a permanent one, keypad and all, and added a plaque. Private driveway, please respect it. Over beers with Mike and others, we laughed about the saga. It wasn't just a gate where it was about boundaries. Lisa tried to erase mine, but I drew the line. And it held.